Grants and Aid, a Division I revenue distribution. Hi, I'm Andrea Warlock, Assistant Director of Finance. Our agenda today will cover information, data submission, and calculation related to Grants and Aid, which is a Division I revenue distribution. All institutions have an obligation to submit accurate data to assist in upholding the integrity of the Division I revenue distributions. Grants and Aid funds are released annually in May to active Division I members. Please reference Bylaw 20.5.3 if you are recently new to Division I. More information about all the Division I revenue distributions is located on ncaa.org under Division I, then under Finances. Documents such as the Revenue Distribution Plan, Quick Reference, Payment Schedule could assist you or your independent auditors, athletic business officers, or CFO with revenue distribution specific or budgeting questions. Grants and Aid is released directly to the institution unless conference bylaws state the funds should be released to the conference on behalf of its members. I use the NCAA online directory to contact athletic directors, senior women's administrators, senior compliance administrators, CFO for institution, and CFO for athletics. Please ensure that individuals listed within the NCAA online directory are up to date. Also, please note more than one staff member can be listed as the CFO for athletics. Any staff member needing Division I revenue distribution notifications should be listed. Grants and Aid equivalencies are submitted through the Membership Financial Reporting System, which is subject to the agreed-upon procedures and performed by an independent auditor. Per the agreed-upon procedures, the institution's independent auditor must test the Grants and Aid before submitting. If you are using Compliance Assistant, the auditor is required to fully review 10% of your student-athlete's financial aid information. If you are using another system, the auditor is required to fully review 20% of the student-athlete's financial aid information. This required review is conducted to ensure the Grants and Aid or athletic equivalencies have been calculated correctly. Please ensure that your Grants and Aid or athletic equivalency expert reviews the data prior to submitting through the Membership Financial Reporting System. Grants and Aid revenue distribution is calculated using an escalating multiplier to create a point value. Therefore, the more grants and aid you provide, the more funds you will receive. Please reference the bylaw pertaining to maximum equivalencies. The NCAA will not pay over the maximum equivalencies unless the student-athlete is exhausted eligibility or medical. The Grants and Aid revenue distribution is calculated based on the number of athletic equivalencies awarded, which can be different from a compliance equivalency. For Grants and Aid revenue distribution purposes, only tuition, fees, room, board, and required course-related books should be used to calculate the Grants and Aid equivalency. For compliance purposes, the items to the right, which are sometimes referred to as cost of attendance, Bylaw 15 aid, or other expenses related to attendance, can be used to calculate the compliance equivalency. Compliance Assistant provides an aid type called Athletics Aid exempt from revenue distribution to account for the items that should not be included in Grants and Aid revenue distribution but are countable for compliance purposes. It is crucial to set up the aid type correctly to account for your equivalencies correctly. If you use Compliance Assistant and correctly enter your athletic aid, there is a report that will provide you the Grants and Aid revenue distribution equivalency totals, called the Calculation for Revenue Distribution Equivalencies Report. The squad list may not reflect your Grants and Aid revenue distribution equivalency correctly. For Grants and Aid revenue distribution purposes, only tuition, fees, room, board, and required course-related books should be used in the athletic grant amount. Also, for grants and aid revenue distribution purposes, only tuition, fees, room, board, and required course-related books should be used in the full grant amount. The athletic grant amount divided by the full grant amount gives you the grants and aid revenue distribution equivalency. If you have any questions about equivalencies, please use the Request Self-Reports online system located within the NCAA My Apps to submit questions. The grants and aid data is captured within the Membership Financial Reporting System, which is located under NCAA My Apps. Once you have logged into the NCAA My Apps, click on the Membership Financial Reporting System web tile. On the tab bar, click on Input to release the drop-down menu. Click on Revenues, Expenses. Scroll down to Category 20. Once you have read the instructions to the right, then click on the Athletic Student Aid. If you are using Compliance Assistant, you are able to import your data from CA to the Membership Financial Reporting System. Click Import from CA on the right-hand side of the screen. Ensure that the total equivalencies awarded column equals the totals on the calculation for revenue distribution equivalencies report generated by CA. If you are using another system, you will need to manually enter the data by sport for athletic aid and/or exhaust eligibility or medical. Please reconcile the entered data to the appropriate report generated by the other system. As we have stated, cost of attendance, Bylaw 15 aid, or other expenses related to attendance should not be included in the equivalency award calculation. However, to the far right, you will see the total dollar amount. This should include cost of attendance, Bylaw 15 aid, or other expenses related to attendance. The total dollar amount is used for research purposes only. The green circles identify the three tabs at the top of the page to represent your men's, women's, and mixed sports. For accuracy, please have your grants and aid equivalency expert review all the data that has been imported or entered prior to submission. The red box to the right is data collected for research and IPP purposes, not for revenue distribution. Once you have reviewed the information, click on the Input tab and choose Revenue Distribution in the drop-down. This action will take you to the revenue distribution page that is used to export the data to the revenue distribution system. Click on the Grants and Aid tab. Once you have read through the instructions, review the data presented to ensure it reconciles to your calculation for revenue distribution equivalencies report. If there is a variance of plus or minus 4% when comparing last year's equivalency to this year's equivalency, an explanation is required. I review all 351 submissions. The variance explanation will assist with the review process. Some examples of a decrease would be less student athletes were offered a scholarship due to a new coach or recruiting constraints. An example of an increase would be an institution added a new sport. Again, please ensure that your equivalency award experts are aware of what is being submitted. The grants and aid calculation is based on an escalating multiplier. The more equivalencies an institution provides, the more grants and aid dollars it will receive. For example, Institution A has a total of 102.16 grant equivalents. The first tier of 50 equivalencies is worth 1 point. Multiplied by 1 equals 50. Then multiplied by the point amount, which is $299.58, yields $14,979. The second tier of 50 is worth 2 points. 50 multiplied by 2 equals 100. 100 multiplied by the point amount, $299.58, yields $29,958. The third tier of 50 is worth 10 points. However, Institution A only has 2.16 remaining. Therefore, 2.16 will be multiplied by 10, equaling 21.6. 21.6 multiplied by the point amount of $299.58 will yield $6,470.93. Add all the tiers together for a total distribution for Institution A of $51,407.93. We have just walked through 3 tiers of the grants and aid calculation. For Institution B, we will skip to Tier 4. The 4th tier of 50 and thereafter is worth 20 points. Institution B has 13.3 remaining. Therefore, 13.3 will be multiplied by 20, equaling 260.6. 260.6 multiplied by the point amount of $299.58 will yield $78,070.55. Add all the tiers together for a total distribution for Institution B of $272,797.55. Again, the more equivalencies an institution provides, the more grants and aid dollars it will receive. Please use the provided information for any questions. Please use the provided information if you need direct contact. Thank you for your time today.